what's up? This is JamesEvangelical99. This is the Super Debate Station.
This is JamesEvangelical99.
And today we are going to have a debate between me and Buster Marshall, or JamesEvangelical99.
Good luck.
Alright, thanks. Alright. I hope I can do good because this is going to be my first one-on-one debate. You ready?
Yes.
Alright. So I have a question. What, between Republicanism and being a Democrat, what do you think is the best political standpoint, and why, more or less? Because I know you're like a Republican, but why do you believe Republicanism is the best political standpoint?
Well, I'm not a Republican on everything, but I think that on certain issues, Republicanism can give more freedom, like on gun control, and there is also some, there is also a huge issue that I forget what it was, but I don't know why I forgot, but
May I interject?
yes.
Alright. Well, you say that Republicanism does bring freedom to the ownership of guns. Yes, that is true. Republicans do hold strongly to the Second Amendment. However, they do also limit freedoms of other people. They limit women's rights when they are anti-abortion. They limit homosexual rights when they're anti-gay marriage. So I feel like it's kind of contradicting when it comes to them and freedom.
I understand that, but I do believe that I do think that they support more freedom than Democrats, though.
How so?
And well, for one thing, gun control. Another thing, economic freedom.
Well, economic freedom.
Yeah.
Most Republicans widely believe that we shouldn't be taxing the rich, yet we should tax the poor far more.
Well, that's not really what I meant. That's actually something that I'm liberal on, by the way. I support taxing the rich because I think that it would be something that Jesus would want. But yeah. But
The rich give to them.
I mean that without having so much regulations and licensing to start a simple business, and also lowering taxes, not on the rich, but on average people,
People that are $100,000 in yearly payroll and under.
Well, isn't the average income $48,000 though?
I thought that was like minimum wage.
Well, I know that the poverty line is below $22,000 a year, but yeah. So that's one reason I believe in Republican. I think that Republicanism brings freedom in that case, and also kind of brings freedom of. Oh yeah, another thing. I'm not going to really say Republicanism in this case because the person that I'm going to be against in this issue was elected as a Republican, but conservatism also brings freedom because you know about what Michael Bloomberg has been trying to do with trying to ban sodas and whatnot, right?
Yeah. Hold on. Sorry about this.
It's fine.
Sorry about that.
It's fine.
Alright, continue.
That's actually a very liberal standpoint. And lots of conservatives are against that because we know that is basically the government that is wrong for the government to tell us what they think we can and cannot drink. I actually have a liberal friend who actually does believe that we should regulate, that we should use the government to shut down companies like McDonald's I think he was also trying to get soda banned from Cambridge, Massachusetts. And also that liberal political party in, like, it was either Sweden or Norway. It was some Scandinavian country besides Finland and Iceland. But whichever country it was, he was trying to get this liberal party was trying to make it a law where all men have to pee sitting down. So, and conservatism is obviously against that. So,
Also, well, you do agree with the, not, like, taxing the rich, but there's also another standpoint that conservatives and Republicans have stood by, where it came to lowering the budget of the government-paid, government-paid, people, like the policemen, the firefighters, and the teachers. There's, like, a big case back in 2011. And when these, teachers and all those people protested, they were considered thugs through the conservative party.
well, the fact is that, like, that was one thing I was going to mention about public sector unions, which even liberals themselves have been against. Like Franklin Delano Roosevelt. I'm not sure if you should really call Franklin Roosevelt a liberal, but he was against public sector unions. So, and also, basically these public sector unions were basically demanding, that, really high, outrageous, pensions and, sorry about that, salaries and all these things. And the unions were getting, and the public sector unions in Wisconsin were getting too powerful. And, that is basically what Republican Scott Walker was trying to fight against, because he didn't want the Wisconsin government to be plunged, like, down into the shitter. Sorry for my language. Financially. Like all these other liberal states that are bankrupt, like California. So, yeah, and I'm not sure about whether their tactics are thuggish or not, okay? They actually don't seem that thuggish to me most of the time, but I'm not going to really address their tactics, but what I'm trying to address is the core principles of their movement.
Another question. Why do you believe that gay marriage should not be allowed in America?
Well, if you want to know, like, my full position, I'm actually okay if it's state by state. If the state wants to legalize it, that's fine.
Yeah, the middle ground thing. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that too, but
I personally think that it shouldn't be legal in my state, which is Arizona. That's where I live. Because, well, it's not really that I don't hate gay people. I'm not like these people at the Westboro Baptist Church and whatnot who hate them.
it's just against your religion. It's basically just against your religion.
Yeah, but like, what I'm for is I just want to, like, reach out to them and whatnot and try to show them that what they're doing is wrong. Not in the, like, really extremist conservative, all fags go to hell, you should all die, not that sort of thing, and not the Sharia law version. Oh yeah, that's another thing I want to mention later, about the whole liberal thing, but, like, yeah, so I don't really want to be that aggressive to them, but, I don't think that allowing them to have marriage is going to help us at all.
Yeah, but I have a question. Why is it that homosexuality is condemned by God? What is so wrong with homosexuality?
Well, I guess you should, like, ask God about that, but I think that, Jim Prophet made Jim Prophet actually mentioned that, homosexuality is wrong because, it's a flaw for evolutionary purposes, and, I'm personally against, social Darwinism. I don't
They're
believe,
against evolution.
well, no, not evolution itself. I don't believe in it, but I'm fine if anyone else wants to believe in it. But what I'm against is the philosophy of social Darwinism, where you should basically judge human beings by how much they contribute to the species. That's Amazing Atheist is also against that too. And basically, this philosophy was the motive for a shooting in a Finnish high school back in late 2007, I think. Yeah. And also it was also social Darwinism was somewhat, one of I don't really want to say it was a motivation, but I'm not sure how to put it. It was.
They're saying that social Darwinism was a leading cause to a certain shooting.
Yes, and also Columbine, sort of, because at the actual shooting, Eric Harris, who was basically the main conspirator in the Columbine shooting, basically had a social Darwinist philosophy, kind of, and on the day the shooting happened, he actually wore a T-shirt that said "Natural Selection" on the back of it. And I'm not really attacking people who believe in evolution. If you believe in evolution, it's fine. But what I'm attacking is the philosophy that, the theory of, what's it called? Dang it, I just forgot. It's that part of evolution, survival. Yeah, I think so. Or natural selection. That's what I meant. Yes.
So you're saying that, social Darwinism has led to murder.
Yes.
But you can also say the same for Christianity, because back in the medieval times, there was a big 100-year war known as the Crusades that killed hundreds and thousands of people, if not even millions, all in the name of their.
I'm not sure it was millions, but it was definitely hundreds.
It was definitely hundreds of thousands.
But
And also, you have to think about a lot of things that have happened in the path of Christianity, because the path of Christianity shows lots of bloodshed, murder, rape. I mean, even the Creator, God, has killed tons of people. So that doesn't make sense to say that social Darwinism is somehow wrong because it leads to murder. There are a lot of things that lead to murder. Christianity is one of them. To a certain extent, of course. To a certain extent, Christianity has led to murder at some point in history.
Well, that kind of, what you just said there, you do have some good points, but first of all, it kind of collides with your philosophy of two wrongs don't make a right, because you basically said that social Darwinism doesn't lead to murder just because Christianity does.
No, I didn't say that social Darwinism doesn't lead to murder. I'm just saying that to say that social Darwinism is wrong because it leads to murder you should basically not like Christianity because it has led to murder as well.
Well, I want to, lots of those things that you mentioned were committed by Christianity, but they were committed by individuals, of course, and they were also committed by the Catholic Church, which has really made a bad image towards Christianity. I'm not Catholic. I'm an evangelical Protestant.
Yeah.
And the Catholic Church is really, they really mistook Christianity. They don't know the concept of it. The Catholic Church is more of an institution than a religion, way more. So, you are right that Christianity has done all those things, but most of the time it was,
The Catholic.
The Catholic Church, which I'm not bashing all Catholics here, but I'm just saying that, the church itself, with the organization and whatnot, has really just, forgot what Christianity is about, and they just don't see Christ's teachings as a motive anymore.
They're saying that, all those things in history wasn't truly caused by all Christianity. It was just caused by a specific branch of Christianity.
Well, not all Christian genocides, but I guess you could blame us Protestants for the genocide of the Native Americans, alright? And but besides that, really, and partly in the Holocaust vote, but the Catholics also had a huge role in that. So besides those two events, where us Protestants helped commit it, it was mainly the Catholics, the Roman Catholic Church, not all individual Catholics. That would be wrong of me to say, but like it's mainly been the Roman Catholic Church, and also the Roman Catholic Church has also been probably one of the most homophobic parts of Christianity.
Westboro.
Yeah, that's true. But Westboro is basically what the Catholic Church has done.
They're taking it to a new level.
Signs and without any guns or weapons. It's basically Westboro is a pacifist version of all the Catholic Church's homophobia, and to a much lesser extent. And also, while we're on that topic, I just want to mention that, like, there's lots of these. I think Stephen Crowder points this out very well in his Palestine video. There's lots of these liberals who condemn Israel and whatnot. I'm not gonna make this into a. I don't really want to make this into a topic about Israel. If you want to, that's fine. I'm more than happy to topic about Israel. But like, there's lots of these liberals that like condemn the Christian right in this country for being against gay marriage and whatnot, and yet they feel the need to justify the Islamic theocracies against Israel, and that's just BS for them to do that if they actually know about how gays are treated anywhere in the Middle East, like in Iran and I think Saudi Arabia too, and in places like that, you can. I think they even do this to teenagers. You can be like stoned and hung just for being gay, and they think that we're the bad guys here. That we're worse than them just because we don't want to have marriage. And also, lots of people praising Obama for supporting gay marriage tend to forget the fact that he grew up in. I'm not saying that he was born in Indonesia, but he grew up in Indonesia, and he tends to like really, and he supports Indonesia and whatnot. And basically in Indonesia, homosexuality is a crime met with 100 lashes with a whip in Indonesia, and yet Obama wants to attend. He supports this, alright? He supports this Sharia law theocracy that whips homosexual teenagers 100 times for practicing their lifestyle, and he is attacking us conservative Christians for being against gay marriage.
Wait, why do you say that he is with lashing gay teenagers?
Because he supports the nation of Indonesia.
But that's kind of like supporting your hometown, though.
What?
Wouldn't that kind of be like supporting your hometown? Like, you know that there are mistakes in your hometown, there are some bad things, but you still support it. You said he came from Indonesia.
Like, if how about all those how about people that lived in like Nazi Germany? Is it fine for them to justify Nazi Germany because it was their was hometown philosophy? That because they lived in Nazi Germany, they feel the need to justify the laws and the government?
Well, I don't believe that they can really have a way of justifying anything, even in Indonesia. It's just like, you don't want to think that the place that you were born and raised in was a bad place.
And I actually really respect liberals who can be consistent on this issue. Like, they respect liberals who will be against us conservatives for not wanting gay understand. So,
I'm glad you know a lot about what you believe because I didn't want this to be like, easy. I'm enjoying this challenge.
yeah, me too.
Okay, by the way, why exactly are you siding with Jim Prophet, communist of all people?
Well, because first of all, even though I used to not like, here's a funny story. Like, the way that he and I first met was back when I made a video about Mr. Epsilon. He actually personal messaged me supporting me, and I didn't really want to join him at first because I saw that he was a communist and whatnot, and I saw that he was so obsessed with moderators, and I didn't really care about moderators.
But then you listened about what moderators did.
But eventually now, or later actually, I decided if he's good enough a person to tolerate, I think he's not, well, he is a Christian, but like,
No, he's not.
What?
He's not Christian.
He isn't? But like,
He's actually against Christianity.
well, not all Christians, he's just against, like, Christians, like,
Hello?
I think he muted his mic.
What?
I think he muted his mic.
What the heck?
Oh no.
Bible fair.
Well, okay, alright, let's, he's recalling. Hang on. Let's see.
Oh,
Commentary,
wow.
commentary,
Why did this happen?
commentary,
Ambulance.
commentary. Okay, so,
Commentary.
it's interesting how he sided with Jim, though, just because of a personal message, though.
No, he didn't say that. He said that.
Well, I know what you're trying to say, but I'm just saying, though, it's kind of funny, though. I mean, it's not like,
And because of personal message, he looked into what Jim Prophet was
Yeah,
doing.
I know, I'm just saying that, though, but I'm just saying, like, over, it's interesting, though, like, a personal
Yeah, that's what a lot of
message.
people meet over YouTube. Personal messages.
Not really, it's usually comments, though, that I see. It's interesting, this kid knows a lot, though, it's interesting. Not a lot of kids his age know that much.
He says a lot about what he's talking about. So it makes it more of a challenge, and I enjoy it.
Yes, that is true. He's
How
back.
about that?
he actually stated that, even though he's, wait, what am I?
How are you on video?
Oh, you are?
We can't do a video. Don't have the premium.
How are you doing that? You have premium?
Wait, I don't have preview.
Neither do I.
So wait, can you see me now?
Yeah.
Yes, we can see you.
Alright, I can't see you talking. Probably because I don't have premium.
There you go, we don't see you anymore.
I see the doggy now. I see a dog.
But like,
Back to normal.
basically the reason, oh yeah, this is going on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's going on YouTube.
Right, it's going on the Super Debate Station's channel?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So basically, like, and one of the reasons why I, actually, so, another one of the reasons why I started to associate with Jim Prophet was because, even though he's a communist, and even though, alright, so basically, like, one of the reasons that, I associate with Jim Prophet, or at least started to, is because, he's this communist, not very, very obscure Christian who has bashed conservatives a lot, and he's bashed America too, and he's all these things, and yet he's still able to be friends great pride in America. And me, a person who thinks that America is the greatest country in the world, is still all these things that are so different between us. Like, I'm capitalist, and, he's communist, and all those other things I explained before. All those things, he was still able to respect me and tolerate me. I think that he deserves mine back. And that is why I started to associate with him. And it wasn't until later, when I started watching his videos a lot, that I actually started to agree with him on the moderator thing. So yeah, I guess that answers your question.
I guess, but I just feel like, yes, I can understand that you're friends because he respects you and you respect him, but I'm wondering, like, I don't think that your friendship could really last forever. I mean, like, because, you guys seem like polar opposites. You believe in America, he's a communist, you're a Republican, well, I'm just saying, you're evangelical, he thinks that Christianity is wrong. I just don't see how your friendship will last forever. I don't see the point in making a friendship unless you know that it will last.
Plus, he's older than you.
I understand you about that, but here's a little something I'm going to tell you about my personal life, okay? I've actually managed to make friends with lots of people who are different from me. Like, one of my closest friends, I know that you won't believe this, but like, one of my closest friends, that I met when I first moved to America, he is actually, a Catholic liberal bisexual. Of course he wasn't bisexual when I met him, but he didn't come out until like last year to me, and we were friends for like 6 months before then. But anyway,
Is he still your friend?
Hmm?
Is he still your friend?
Yes.
Very good.
And but he's always been, for as long as I've known him, he's also been a Catholic, liberal, very liberal. I would say that it's his parents, because his parents are very liberal, and I would say that they forced it on him, but I don't really want to assume that, because lots of people think that just because I'm a conservative Christian, my parents forced it on me, which they didn't. My parents actually, one of them is a liberal, my mom is liberal, and my dad is an independent. He's like conservative. I'd say that he's a libertarian, but like he's like conservative on gun control and unions, and he's liberal on things like gay marriage, and stuff like that. But basically, so my friend has basically been this different from me for as long as I've known him, except for the bisexual part, which I found that out like 6 months later. But he's been this different from me, and still been able to be friends, And I also have another Catholic friend at school, who's he's like Mexican American, and I also have an agnostic friend at school. My best friend is a Protestant. He is Protestant. He's not really conservative. He says that since he's 14, like me, I'm not 14 yet, but I will be in a few days. He basically thinks that since he's this young, he's not old enough he's not enlightened enough to have a political opinion. But
I don't believe that.
I think that's pretty smart of him. And so yeah, I have a huge tendency to be friends with people that are really different from me, and it's actually lasted for a long time. So
I believe that if anyone has an opinion on something and can back up their opinion, then they have the right to have that political opinion. And you've obviously shown to back up your opinion, so yeah, you of course, beyond reason, have the right to your opinion.
You too.
I mean, like, if you follow something blindly, like a lot of Catholics do, like for one person, Candy Cobb 7 or whatever, I don't believe that he anyone who isn't Christian is going to go to HELL. And he doesn't listen to anyone. If anyone like responds to him and beats him at his own game and basically shows him that he's wrong, he ignores them and then calls them Satanistic, which I believe is just immature of him, really.
Right there.
But now that I think about it, I shouldn't say he doesn't have a right to his opinion, because that makes it seem like I want to limit freedom of speech just because of that, when I don't. I guess, in a way, I should say that you shouldn't have credibility. Like, you have the right to your opinion, but I will not give you credibility for it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. So yeah, but like, he, life, yeah, oh yeah, so basically, my Catholic friend that I told you about, well, he basically, like, he thinks that gay marriage is a pretty important issue to him, but like, he basically respects me on it because he's actually been bullied for being a bisexual, and I think he respects me, and he's still my friend because when he was getting bullied in school after he came out as bisexual, like, I stood up for him, even though I don't really like his lifestyle. Because I don't think it's right, to bully people. Sorry if I sound weird. It's just that I'm kind of crying.
You're crying?
Yeah, a little. Whenever I talk about bullying, I cry. It's just something that happens to me. He's basically still my friend because, I stood up for him, even though he was getting bullied for being bisexual, and because I don't think it's right to bully people. Like, that's something that I think Caden Calger is right on, because that, like, even though we believe that it's the wrong lifestyle, we don't believe that bullying is a tactic to be taken. And also, his parents hate me, though. Like, my Catholic, liberal, bisexual friend. His parents really hate me. Before school ended, like, they said that, like, they don't want him to hang out with me anymore. But they still do, obviously. But, like, that's despite them, And, yeah.
Well, it's okay if I can, like, say something about, Jim Prophet.
Sure.
I mean, I understand that he's your friend and all that. I can agree with that, but I just want to, like, at least try and convince you that he isn't the best person in the world,
No.
Because, like, he's very pompous with what he says. He acts arrogant for a lot of things that he says. Like, he false claims that the atheist gamer is a pedophile and hasn't said an apology for it yet. He claims that Mr. Epsilon is a Luciferian, which is, someone who basically is Satanistic, and hasn't apologized for it, because Mr. Epsilon, you have to admit, James, I know that you don't like Mr. Epsilon, but you have to at least admit that Mr. Epsilon does not seem like the person who would be a Luciferian. And also... Sorry.
You mind if I chime in?
Sure.
Okay, I have a friend who I talked to 2 days ago who is a moderator for this game called Hightail Hall. And he told me that they don't ban people unless that they don't follow the rules.
But then Jim Croft has a counter for that by saying that moderators bend the rules all the time.
They don't. I have talked to him. They do not bend the rules. Because I'm there, I don't do nothing. I don't speak. And they don't bend the rules. I've been there since, February, March. And I haven't got banned at all. And he sits there and says the only reason why they banned anonymous people is because they've warned them to get names and to state their age because it's an 18 and up. But he says if they don't say their age or get a name, they get banned automatically. So that's the only reason why they ban. Is because they don't follow the rules and they give them warnings. So I don't know why Jim thinks all moderators are bad, because they're not. They're just doing their job and following the rules, basically.
But James, you also got to think about it in another way about like why Jim Prophet keeps being banned. I mean, I can understand that you can see him differently and you can see him as a friend, but think about it through the perspective of everyone else. What we see is someone who is communistic, who actually does threaten people, who is basically insulting everyone and always says that he's always right, and if you don't agree with him, then you're just a childish fool. So that really doesn't seem like a really good personality to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Which is why that, like Mark Anthony Quested actually brought this up in one of his comments. He actually brought up, instead of like blaming moderators and saying that moderators are bad, haven't you ever thought that maybe you should just take a step back and think that maybe it's your own personality and what people think of you and what you seem like to other people for the reason of you being banned all the time? Now you've got to admit, Jim Prophet Communist does not seem like a likable person. He seems very dark and dreary, and he's not really nice to most people. So you can understand somewhat why he gets banned. I don't agree with banning; it's still wrong, of course, but I can see to a certain degree on why he was being banned.
You mind if I chime in?
Sure.
Okay, so
Sure. Wait, James, do you mind like Tyler chiming in?
Kyle Stewart TV.
no, me and basis.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Kyle.
No, Kyle's not here. No.
No, I don't mind.
Okay. So, why do you want to be friends with a guy who basically likes a person named Timotheus, though? Because, see, Timotheus wants to start a camp, and go to the camp, you get, like, maybe one last chance with a girl before you get your balls cut off in front of all the girls, because they do it themselves. And then you get 30 minutes to rest from the procedure. Then you get to walk home naked back home to your apartment or whatever. You lose your dignity and you lose your balls, and you can't reproduce or have kids. And James, seriously, Jim sits there and, supports this. Would you want your balls cut off and not have kids or anything like that?
Well,
I think that the reason why James doesn't really think about that is because he does not agree with a lot of things that Jim says, but he is a friend because he.
Yes, I know. Why? I'm just want to throw this in though. I'm just wondering,
But he does bring up a point, James, Jim Prophet actually is okay with the idea of all men getting their testicles removed, which includes you and me, because he hates moderators, and he believes that 90% of all moderators are male, which is obvious bull.
Yeah, and they allow that in Africa. They do this because it's ceremonial, and thanks to Kitty Wonder, she actually researched that, and it's real.
Wait, are you sure you didn't confuse that with circumcision?
No, the Timotheus actually says it's a holiday that Timotheus thought of called Castration Day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Emmy and Basis said that this is actually a ceremony in lots of Africa, and circumcision is actually practiced a lot in Africa.
It is.
Lot because of how Islamic Africa is. And circumcision is basically an Islamic and Jewish ceremony.
Yeah.
He never really said that he supports the castration, but he said, I do remember him saying that he is willing to have his balls cut off, in return for seeing one of his enemies getting his balls cut off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
If this holiday somehow helps by getting like moderators and whatnot, and then I get anesthetic and things like that.
Okay.
And if I was no victim, and there are no other victims besides me, all those conditions, I would actually be happy with this. And anyone else, but like if anyone else agrees, if there's any men that agree with feminists, I'm actually kind of against radical feminism, but like, you know, if there's any males that are, you know, that agree with her and that are ashamed of what they feel they have done, and if they actually want this, then I say it's fine if they want to do it, if they're that ashamed. And also, he did mention though that he doesn't agree with feminists on all our positions. And he also did mention that he understands why feminists take this position after how she has been treated on the internet. And he also did say that it is true that testosterone is a high cause of many crimes that are committed by males. Which is no reason why it's understandable.
Yes. But think about this, though.
You gotta remember, there are also evil females as well. There are female serial killers out there.
Yeah, you just said it. There you go. There you go.
I'm not trying to bash men here, alright?
I know, I understand.
But
You're trying to defend you, probably. But also, there's another thing. Like, Jim Prophet says that he supports GodHatesSinners.com. Now, I would like to send you a link to one of the GodHatesSinners.com's,
I tried to go on there to see what it's about. I tried to go on their forums to see what it's about, but like, turns out I have to register with their forums to see what goes on there, and I don't really want to do that because my parents would get mad at me, because I remember one time I registered with a radical Christian site, and I don't know, my mom found out, and she found out because she knew it from my email, and she got really upset at me. She took away my email and my computer, and I got grounded for like a few months. This was last year.
Can you see that right there? Can you see the little
See the link?
I posted the link.
I'm going there right now.
Alright. Can you see what can you see what we're looking at?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna chime in here. James. Okay, so I'm watching a lot of James's videos, and he's made a couple to Atheist Gamer. He says, I'll agree with you on this one chick who is banning girls in video games and stuff like that, or something like that, and he's saying, you know, I agree with you, she's bad, and then he reverts it to moderators. Almost all of his videos, he reverts it to moderators. I don't understand that, because
Okay, well, let me just show James something.
Okay.
If you scroll down into the comment section of this very link, you will see almost nothing but banned people. Now, what is it that Jim Prophet hates about moderators? People being banned, correct? And yet he supports this one website who probably, arguably, is one of the places that bans most of its people. I mean, look at all of those people that are banned. And yet he supports it because he says that if he can, because they're like Christian fundamentalists first and moderators second. And he's going to try and lean into the Christian fundamentalists. That doesn't matter. You also got to think about it another way. Let's say that he somehow does get GodHatesSinners.com to help him with moderation. And he also does all that. And that also brings up another thing that I thought of. Like the feminist, she's like with all women basically. And he said that 90% of all moderators are males. But that means that there are also 10% moderators that are female. So think about that. You've got the feminist and GodHatesSinners.com. Both of which, with like feminist is okay with all females. And, you know, GodHatesSinners.com are moderators themselves. So once the little battle between moderators is over and he somehow wins, all that's left are the 10% of moderator women own allies to complete his goal fully. I don't see how you can really be okay with someone who's basically is getting so many different types of allies that in the end result he has to turn on them.
Well, I wouldn't say that he has many allies, but like, you made some pretty good points there. Well, probably, I saw some conservative pundit on a show I was watching say this. He quoted it from someone else. That basically, in most situations, there's not just a good and a bad, and you just choose the good and everything's fine. In most situations, there's just a bad and there's a worse. And even though like the not as bad part is still bad, you still have to choose that because it's, not bad, even worse. And I think that that could really describe the situation here because even though these are like moderators who ban people, which is bad, they're probably not as bad as the moderators on sites like 4chan and 4chan and 420chan and TV tropes and all that.
No, it's pretty exact same. I mean, like, the reason why GodHatesSinners.com is banning so many people is because they're either not Christian or not crazy Christian enough. Like, not that type of insane Christian like GodHatesSinners.com really is.
Well,
because now let's think about what the other moderators do, like the bad moderators that you're talking about, like D and all that. Now let's say that they do ban people, just ban tons of people. It could be for their terms and services, which they have actually set up. Sure, they may be messing up, that they may be bending the rules, but it's still the rules, and you have to read over them and follow them. However, with GodHatesSinners.com, they're just banning people just because they don't believe in what they believe.
well, that seems to be like Alright, sorry about that. Oh yeah, also I wanted to point out that how like one of the ways that they invented a flu vaccine was by fighting the flu with a little bit of the flu.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the situation here, because sometimes you just gotta fight like the really bad moderators, like the ones on 4chan and 4chan and TV tropes, and Encyclopedia Dramatica, with a little bit of the moderators, like some GodHatesSinners.com, and also GodHatesSinners.com isn't really well known. Jim Prophet probably gave it a huge endorsement compared to how much other people really know about it. Most people don't know about GodHatesSinners.com, but like these other sites that have huge moderator problems, like 4chan, 4chan, what else? TV tropes, YouTube somewhat because of the moderators that take down videos. All these sites are actually really major and important in the internet, when GodHatesSinners.com is just a small site full of radical Christians.
But I'm just saying, like, just think about that. I understand what you're saying, like, fighting fighting the big amount of moderators with a small amount of moderators. I guess that makes sense. But in the end, Jim Prophet wants all moderators gone. So basically, by your theory, in the end result, it would have to be that you use a little bit of vaccine, the little bit of the virus to fight the virus, and then once the virus was gone, then Jim Prophet would want the rest of the virus, which helped him, gone as well. Because he wants every single moderator, like, gone. Like, he does not agree with any form of moderation at all. Well, except for self-moderation, maybe.
Well, pure good, and then just with all that, like, and how you can't just be perfect in your conduct when you're fighting an enemy. Sometimes, to reach your goal, you have to betray the very people that helped you. So even though you have to use dirty tactics, you still achieve something that in the end is better and good. No.
But let me ask you, what do you think will happen in the end result of no moderators?
What?
What do you think is going to happen in the end result without moderators?
Well, I think it would be better. There would definitely be a lot more freedom of speech. A lot more, and also there would be like a lot more posting. And a lot more content for these sites, which would make them even bigger and even more popular. And all in all, since there's no moderators, bigger is better, since it's not really a threat.
Also think about it like this. The moderators actually have a job. The job was to keep extremely offensive stuff off of their site. Which they do. They still do that along with banning other people. That's true. They may ban people randomly sometimes, but they also keep the internet safe from extremely offensive stuff like you saw from Samuel. In fact, even worse. So about moderators, we would have complete anarchy on the internet. There would be there could even be people that were physically abusing children. There could be people who are spouting racist crap all over the internet.
Like on 4chan, which the moderators defend. They defend racism that is spouted on 4chan. The moderators defend that. And on 4chan, the moderators defend pedophiles.
Why do you say that the moderators defend pedophiles?
Because it's a huge pedophile site.
How do you know? Because your prophet said it was.
No, I actually saw some child porn on there.
You did?
I saw one
4chan has anything.
on B, and it really, I just got really scared that I went to this site, because I was scared that my IP would be tracked down by pedophiles. So I didn't go on the site for another month. But yeah, I did stumble upon some on there by accident, because it was on B, which is full of random stuff on 4chan. And also, when we talk about anarchy, where the fuck were the moderators when Ziff killed himself? So basically, they're there when someone posts a few, some content that they disagree with, calling them out on their racism on 4chan. But when someone is getting harassed by moderators, and when someone is getting bullied, and just tormented.
Wait, you say that Ziff killed himself because of moderators. Do you have evidence? Do you have evidence that moderators...
Moderators could have helped. The moderators could have helped.
Yeah, but how were they supposed to know? There's no continuing evidence. Did they say that Ziff did contact moderators of it? Did they say that Ziff actually contacted the moderators about these people who were bullying him? And if not, then how are the moderators supposed to know?
He was too scared to go, because the moderators also treated him like crap.
How do you know?
Because that's what moderators on 4chan do to anyone who disagrees with them. That's what they did to me. I made 1 or 2 posts on there, and I got banned. It's really easy to get banned from 4chan, because, it's basically a site full of anti-Semitism and racism and all that shit.
I'm just saying, all I'm really saying here is that the prophet can be a hypocrite in his own, way of, in his own beliefs. Think about that. He would be okay with you having your balls chopped off, you having, Republicanism being gone, actually, and being replaced with communism, all of that, all because of a belief that he's half-assed with.
by all those things I said earlier about, fighting the virus with a little bit of the virus, and also having to choose the lesser of two evils. And by the way, I just want to say that, after Jim Prophet, I've actually grown a lot more accepting and tolerant of communism, because he actually pointed out that communism is more about cooperation. I'm not saying that communism works, but I'm just saying that I'm a lot more accepting of it now, because, I grew up learning that communism is basically a society where the government, where the state controls everything, which it is in practice,
Yes, in
I
practice.
still don't support it, but Jim pointed out that that is not the philosophy and the theory of communism, and that the theory is rather just,
Yeah, but you see, that's the problem. The theory is fine. The practice is the problem. You can't look at the theory and say, oh, that's a good idea. You have to look at the practice. Like the practice of republicanism has its faults, but in the end, it does work, correct?
well,
The theory of, the practice of Democrats has worked. The practice of socialism has worked. The practice of communism has worked sometimes in small countries, but in big countries like Russia, has failed. So looking at practice is the truth, and practice says communism is bad.
yeah, I agree with you there. Wait, but where exactly did communism work? Did you say? Because you said that it worked in some small countries.
Well,
I never heard of it ever working. So
there's like a small society in America full of that has communism in it. It's like a small town, really, and they have been working, and it's been working out for them, and they're being communistic. Like they've been trying to keep the idea of everyone working together, and so it's been working for that. But there's also been someone also told me about a country, the small country somewhere in Asia, I think. I don't remember which one, but they did say that communism only works in that country. So it could be for some countries, some very small countries, which is true because in small countries it takes more, people interaction. But in large countries like America and Russia, where it's more governmentally controlled, it's not going to work because giving more power to the government leads to corruption and greed, which is what communism does for big countries. It gives more power and more money to the government to distribute to the people, which in the end they don't because they get greedy.
Alright, well, I agree with you there.
So for practice, if you're in a small town, if you're in a small country where it's like everyone's working together, everyone's trying to survive, then yes, communism is a good idea. It might be a good idea. But for a large nation like the United States, which Jim Prophet wants, he wants to turn the United States into a communist country, it won't work. No matter how you look at it. Through theory, it sounds nice. Through practice, it sounds terrible.
Yeah, I agree with you there. But hey, no, sorry, that was just my dog just started walking on my keyboard. I had to get him off.
That's okay.
Yeah, he does that a lot. But actually, yeah, I actually agree with you there. I think I have to leave in a few minutes.
Okay.
Not for a second.
Well, let me chime in.
5 minutes. So if you have something that you've been really wanting to say or to debate about this whole time, and you want to just let it out, and you really need your chance, just take now.
Alright, well, I guess I can just say it now. Well, there are two things I wanted to say. The first thing is the more important one, of course. I just hope that maybe, I really see that you are a good kid. I can truly see that. I just feel like, this is just my opinion here. I just feel like you've gone into the wrong crowd, like Jim Prophet. Because I see you kind of be friends with him, but I just feel like he's not the type of person that should have a good, dang it, that's coming out wrong. I just feel like he's not the type of person who would give such a friendship back by what I see from him. So I just feel like maybe we could be, in a way, I would say we have a higher chance of being friends than Jim Prophet. You know?
Alright, great.
And the second thing is, do you play Minecraft?
Do you know?
Actually, I used to but the thing is, I wasn't using my own account. I was using remember my bisexual liberal,
Use this account?
he's like obsessed with Minecraft, and he let me use his account.
What did you think of Minecraft? What do you think of Minecraft?
He does.
I said, what do you think of it?
Well, I don't really like it, actually. I don't hate it, but, like, you know, I don't think it's, I guess it can be cool sometimes if you build, like, my brother's obsessed with it too. He's shown me that, you know, you can build some really cool stuff on there, but in general, I don't really like the game, because it's, like, so pixelated, and, it's cubed, and everything's in cubes. I just don't really like that part. But basically, I used to use my friend's account, and he basically took it away from me because I got banned on too many servers. Because I once got banned from a server because I typed in caps lock, in all caps.
Yeah, that's a big problem in some like servers.
Also, my older brother's an admin.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny because, like, at first we're talking about, like, republicanism and communism and Jim Croft communism and all this, and now we're ending it off with Minecraft.
Come on, let me chime in.
Alright, chime in.
Yeah, no damn Minecraft bullshit. Alright, so let me ask you this. So, every time Jim talks about something, he always has to refer to moderators. He always does. He ends up sitting there, you know, talking about like some shooting, and then he refers it to moderators.
And he blames moderators.
Yes, and he blames moderators for that. So how can you blame moderators for shooting people at a Batman thing, even though they weren't there? That was just some kids.
Well, I forget what he said in this video about that, but
Well, to be honest, what bugs me the most about that video is that he actually takes that, you know, tragedy and uses it to his advantage by not only blaming the people he hates for it, but also monetizing it.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Epstein did the same thing, but
That was about, well, he mentioned the shooting for like a minute. That wasn't even about the shooting. It was about something about suicide, which is wrong.
Still, the suicide jokes is nothing. If you're like going as inept to it, and as he did, like talking about all the psychological bad things about suicide jokes, that's really not something monetized either. But anyway, so yeah, I think mentioned something in that video about how he actually posted a link, where the guy, James Holmes, was actually on 4chan, you know, and the moderators could have done, I forget how, I think he explained it, but he explained how, like, moderators on 4chan could have done something to stop it. I'm just not sure how. And, like, also, I have 3 older brothers, 2 of them are atheists, by the way. Just in case you want to know that, I thought that would be an interesting fact, that I have 2 atheist brothers. But like, one of them actually, knows about Jim Prophet, and he thinks that Jim, like, one of my older brothers said, I asked him about, how Rich Burlew, I saw my older brother,
Richard the Rapist Brewer?
Giant in the Playground forum, and I saw him on that, and I asked him, you know, about Rich Burlew raping someone, and he said that was bullshit. He asked me where I got it, and I told him Jim Prophet, and he said to me that Jim Prophet is just a lazy asshole who just bitches and slanders people because he gets banned everywhere because he's such an unsocial dick. That's what he said.
James, I just want to say, like, to be honest, in my honest opinion, I do have to agree with your brother because Jim Prophet Communist has slandered Atheist Gamer by calling him a pedophile. He's slandered Mr. Epstein by calling him a Luciferian. He's slandered Metallica Guru by calling him a man-child. I mean, not a man-child, that was me.
Yeah.
He slandered the Metallica Guru for calling him a criminal. He slandered Tyler for calling him a troll. And he slandered me for calling me a man-child.
Yeah, and he said he would take me and the Metallica Guru to court, and he's never done it.
Which also shows that he also makes false threats.
Well, he took YouTube to court, though, so...
Where's the evidence of this? He could have just said that he took it to court.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Someone taking on a big corporation like YouTube would be all over the news, wouldn't it?
It would. That'd be like me sitting there going on YouTube and saying, hey, you know what? I'm the owner of the porn industry. It'd be all over the news.
That's just random.
Exactly. That's how random it is, because he just puts up a random video saying, I just went to court with YouTube. I think he's doing it just for the publicity, just to get money.
Oh, I'll just have to look into that. Also, my brother says that I'm being brainwashed by Jim Prophet, but
I would think you are, because you two are like polar opposites when it comes to certain morals.
Yeah.
And he's telling me not to trust him, and he's also telling me that Jim is dangerous, but
Now I wouldn't say that Jim is dangerous, and you know I can say that he's not brainwashing you just by seeing how you can speak for yourself, obviously. But I would say like the other thing they said, like don't trust Jim. I kind of almost agree with you. I almost do, because I feel like Jim isn't really a trustworthy person, in my opinion, of course. Like, it's my opinion. Your opinion is different, but, you know, we're different people.
Yeah.
so
But I still want to know, though, like, why does he always refer everything to moderators, though, James?
because that's like his biggest topic. That's like his major platform. It's kind of how like Al Gore always refers everything back to global warming.
Yeah. I mean, okay, imagine this. If some kid falls over on his bike and dies there, I'm just saying this, and then he makes a video about it and says moderators did it. No, he just fell off his bike. How in the world could moderators just sit there and make the boy fall? He can't. He just did it himself.
I think you're making a reference about, like, these shootings.
Something like that. But you know what I'm saying, though? I mean, moderators can't be there 24/7 just to cause tragedy, and he blames it on that, so...
Tyler, by the way, don't monetize this video because we mentioned the shooting and I don't want to
I can't monetize, because we got copyright stuff.
You do?
Yes, we got our intro that's copyrighted.
Okay.
Anyways, after that, okay.
Non-profit organization.
Yeah, but see, it just doesn't understand, though. You know, okay, moderators cannot cause tornadoes. They cannot cause earthquakes. They cannot cause you to go to hell or heaven. They cannot cause you to sink your damn ship. They can't sit there and make you rape your own wife.
All they can really do is, like, ban you.
Pretty much. This is all internet that moderators can do. They can't tell you how to live, how to have sex, how to eat food or nothing like that, you know? He blames moderators for everything.
I'll have to see him. I'll have to see him talk about those events in particular.
I can bring it up right now.
Exactly. Because, you know, he can't...
Because I think I have to leave in like a minute.
Yeah.
Let me just find it for you. I can bring it up right now, right here.
Hang on. One more thing before I end my discussion. All I have to say is, moderators can't tell you how to live your life. You live your life. But you may have to, obey rules and stuff like pay taxes and crap like that. But still, you live your own life. Moderators say, "Go to sleep now." They don't control him. They don't control what he eats and stuff. Believe me, he doesn't.
Go to sleep now. That was just funny. Oh yeah, and also,
Yeah.
Tyler, I just want to know two things before we're done. I'm not getting judged by this, but I'm just curious. I know that you said you live in Tennessee.
Yes.
And I know that that's a Republican state. Are you a Republican yourself? Or
Yes.
are you something else?
I'm Republican.
Oh, you're a Republican?
Yes.
Alright, that's cool. And also, you said that your denomination is Nazarene. Is
Yes.
that, Protestant kind?
It's more like towards the Jewish kind of area, somewhat. Look it up on Wikipedia or wherever.
Yeah, I looked it up on Wikipedia, and it said that there's lots of different types of religious groups called Nazarenes, and that one of them is a Protestant type.
Look up something called Church of the Nazarene. Look up that. It's had the official insignia of it. It'll show a book with a little pigeon on it and stuff like that. I'll send you a link. Anyways, that's pretty much it for me. So I'm done. Take it away, Gino.
Wow.
I have to go now. My dog is basically asking for me to walk him. I don't want him to go. I don't want him to go in the house, because then my dad's gonna get pretty pissed.
Okay. Just here we are.
Alright. So sorry. I have to go now.
Alright,
Alright.
goodbye.
It was very good debating with you guys.
Yes,
Alright.
goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Alright. Thanks for discussing with us.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Alright,
goodbye.
goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.
Right, guys, this is the Super Debate Station. I am Mimian Basis.
I'm the Gino360.
And this is our debate with JamesEvangelical99 or Buster Marshall. We hope you all have a good night. And we hope you all enjoy this debate.
Good night, everybody.